We're back in the office. We still haven't got our calendars sorted. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, and happy Sunday to all of you in the chat as well. Thank you so much for joining us. As ever, whether you're new or returning, feel free to sound off, and one of us will get back to you in the chat. It's great to have you here. As ever, to all of you watching on YouTube, welcome. To all of you listening at home or, well, I was about to say, or outside, but we're all at home at the moment. Hope you are enjoying it as well. Before we begin, as ever, we have a couple of thanks to our assistant dungeon managers on Patreon, Graham Muir and Rory O'Sullivan. Thank you so much. You are wonderful. If you want to check out what they are supporting, how you can support us if you would like to, and the lovely goodies that you can get by supporting us, you can check out our Patreon, which will be linked in the chat and in the description below. Another thanks as well to our affiliates over at Zavi. They have an incredible collection of Dungeons & Dragons related collectibles, including clothing and merchandise. And you can use our very own personalized discount at the checkout, Dungeon 20 for 20% off all D&D related clothing, and Dungeon 10 for all, it's site-wide, right?
Yes.
Yes, Dungeon 10 site-wide. This is why I ask you. That will be linked in the chat as well, both the link and those codes as well. If you would like to follow us, you can do so on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. We're also available on YouTube, where you can subscribe to us and click the bell icon to receive notifications when we have a new video. That helps with the algorithm. Even after all of these years, I still don't understand how it really works, but it's a thing that YouTubers say. You can also check us out in podcast form on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean. And I think that is it. I don't think I've forgotten anything. So let us jump straight back in as we step out of the office, away from work, and back into the world of Dungeon Manager. Previously on Dungeon Manager, heading away from the city of Waterdeep and travelling along the high road towards Neverwinter, you took stock of all you had learned from Ikrath, aided by the notes you took from his officers. Settling down for the evening, as Scarlet, volunteering to identify some of the objects you had procured, quickly became a bit more of a chore than you were perhaps expecting. You examined your new information. It seems that, despite Ikreth and Ostafar Gate's apparent alliance, the Ivory Silent and the First Church are working against one another towards the same end, procuring an artifact known as the Skyblade. And while both men have, or in Ikreth's case, had the blueprints, neither one seems to have found where this artifact is. For the First Church's part, they appear to have recruited a military unit simply known as the Gunpowder Brigade, in hopes of discovering the Spelljammer's location, while the Ivory Silent appear to be looking towards the city of Kometstadt himself, for an individual known as the Connoisseur, an individual who, according to Ikreth's notes, knows much about the world before. Theorizing that what either party could want with such a powerful weapon, especially upon discovering that the Church would utilize it in conjunction with Thomas Idlewent's adjustments to Kometstadt's High Spire, conversation turned to Terra's interest in all of this. And while Terra, you remained tight-lipped, you assured them that it was for their safety that they didn't know. Continuing along the road, the next day brought with it only more snow and wind and Zini. You all but fell ill to the swirling chill around you, and as the day drew to an end, you found yourself in the small town of Slumptown, A settlement built on the bogs and mires near the sea, and entering the Withered Pumpkin Tavern, you noticed another establishment nearby. One you previously saw in Baldur's Gate and purportedly owned by the Skinner crime family, the Tack Room. Leaving Zini to rest up with the animals, the rest of you scoped out the building, finding that any view of the inside was blocked by a strange green plant-like substance. And as Terra and Dalifar cut into the front door, it opened, and the inside of the Tack Room was revealed to you. Pushing the door open and stepping forward, the ground beneath your feet squelches. And as you look around, you see the interior of what should be an inn. There are tables and chairs. There are stairs and a balcony and a bar. But you see no wood. Clinging to every surface and covering every window, there is wet, green algae, stretching all around, even the ceiling itself. But here and there, scattered about the room, you notice something else. Bones. Fish bones litter the building, and the stench of salty, wet meat clings to the air. And as you look, you see that in the center of the room, the floorboards seem to have given way, snapped back, and creating a giant hole in the middle of the floor.
Does it look like a hole that was made on purpose?
It looks like it has been broken from beneath. The floorboards stretch upwards and are wrapped in green seaweed and moss and algae.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'll carefully go over and look down.
Okay. Looking down underneath the floorboards, you see what should be a stone basement, and you see hints of grey stone here and there, but it is similarly covered in green plant life. Barrels and crates stand untouched around the room, and in the centre of this basement, almost directly below the hole, you see a trapdoor. It is cracked open and torn apart with chunks of wood underneath gripping sea plants, but beneath where this trapdoor should be, underneath the grey flagstones and green seaweed and plants, you see that there are stairs descending deeper and deeper into the earth. They are also wrapped in green plant life, but they are wooden stairs, very much man-made.
Dalifar?
Yes.
Zini took the other sending stone so that we could let her know if we needed her help. We came here thinking it would just be, having a quick look. Seems like maybe this goes further than we thought. Do you think maybe we should let her know?
Yeah, Zini is always a good person to have in our party when we come across these kind of things. And reach into the satchel and send a message to Zini saying, come to the tack room through the front door. We'll be waiting.
If you want to.
If you want to.
Okay, I'm coming.
Juliet looks up at you.
Yeah, I grab my stuff. I look down at Juliet. I look down at Rudigan the First, and I nod at Rudigan the First in a keep her safe kind of look, and then try and run out of the room, but slightly gangly and unbearable.
You run out, and the barman over by the other end of the room just gives a bit of a nod. Already headed out, are you?
Yes, pray I don't freeze.
All right, I will do. Torn bless you. So you rush out, and your gangly legs, as the snow buffets against you, are tripping occasionally in the very unsteady and squelchy ground beneath you. But you make your way over to the tack room, and inside, the squelching becomes a very different kind of squelching as the wet ground beneath you becomes plant-like and strange, and you see the other four stood at the center of the room next to a large hole
Okay, then.
Right.
Not what I was expecting, I'll be honest.
No, me neither.
Yes, it's rather a bit of a shock. I know, Zini, that we're asking a lot for you to accompany us here, and I know the sea isn't quite your forte, but do you have any idea what sort of plant this is?
I could have a look. I'm having slight trouble focusing, but I will try.
Okay, make a nature check at disadvantage.
Okay, I rolled an 11 and a 12, so 17.
Okay, so you haven't seen a lot of plant life that is indigenous to the seas and the oceans, but you certainly find some commonalities from plants that you have seen at the bottom of lakes in the middle of the high forest. Things that coat riverbeds that are particularly good for healing and also occasionally for sustenance when required. This all looks to be moss, algae, and seaweed. It is wet and it is stringy in places, and it appears to be naturally occurring, though that it should have spread quite so thoroughly around this building is surprising.
So it is specifically seaweed as opposed to just riverweed, or...
It appears to be, yeah.
Okay, and how close to the sea are we here? We're fairly close, aren't we?
You're fairly close, yeah. I mean, if you ventured out into the marshland, obviously that sort of connects a bit more with the edges of the sea and the coastline. So it would probably take you maybe around an hour to walk out there, given the marshland.
Looks like it's mostly seaweed, but why it would grow outside of the sea and in a room, I'm not really sure. I imagine the hole is a fairly big clue and the broken trapdoor. This feels like a very similar situation to the rot trolls that came through in Baldur's Gate.
Do we really want to go looking for this trouble? I don't mind, but...
I think it might offer us some answers about the Tack Room. Unless this is just a big old coincidence. They just built this place and then they left it and then this happened.
I suppose it depends as well on whether we think whatever caused it is still here or if it will come back. I mean, this plant has spread this far. It could potentially spread further. I mean, I won't lie, I have a rather soft spot for the small little villages that are peppered around Neverwinter. I've stayed at a few in my time, and it's the first place I really started cooking.
So we should probably, check it out.
Dal, would you mind looking if there are recent signs of disturbances to the weed?
Sure. As in further down or just around here?
Just anywhere.
Is quick question, how accessible is it, just to, how easy, I suppose, is it just to sort of go down a level?
I mean, you'd be able to drop down from this, the top of the hole. You're essentially on the ground level, and it would just be dropping down a floor into the basement. But all of it is fairly cushioned by the looks of it from this strange outgrowing.
I can drop down 20 feet and be, absolutely fine.
Let me go down first because we don't know what's down there. And I drop down a level.
Okay. So you drop down and there is a distinct, as Dalfar just connects with the greenery that layers the floor. It is certainly thicker down here. It looks like down here it is darker and less fresh. And as you look around, you see that it appears to literally be growing out of the stairs that descend down into the earth. Wherever it began down and grew up, up, up into the tavern itself.
So it looks like it's coming from further down below, whatever it is. And can I actually check, if I can, see how long it's been here, if possible?
Yeah, make a nature check for me.
Rolling so well. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You would wager that it has probably been here around a week now?
From the signs of things, it's been here not too long, maybe about a week. And I think we'll get more answers if we go further down.
Okay, and I'm gonna quietly jump.
Didn't the barkeep say that the construction had finished a month ago?
Yeah.
And it's never been opened?
Yep.
Oh, I think we have to look into this.
Okay. And I start to walk towards the other entrance. Is it stairs from this floor down?
Yeah, so there are stairs in the middle of the basement that appear to just descend lower into the earth.
I just stand at the top and look down to see what I can see.
Okay, make a perception check.
Do any of us have, like, detect magic or anything like that?
I do.
22.
22. You look down and you see that these stairs, these wooden stairs, descend in an almost perfect square. Down, down, down. Potentially 5 stories.
It goes, okay. Well, it looks like the stairs go down quite a way. Very, very deep. Perhaps they were looking for something down here. That's why they made the guise of having a building up top.
Does seem like a strange place to put something. They must have had a very specific reason to be here.
In a place where buildings fall down because it's very swampy and is called Slump Town. Can I jump down and follow Terra and Dalifar?
Of course. Are the rest of you following?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
So
lead the way.
Okay, so as you descend down deeper and deeper into the earth, Terra, can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please, as the walls begin to feel a little closer than you would like, a little tighter and more constricting.
Wisdom save.
Give yourself +3 if you're within 10 feet of me.
I'm halfway through saying, like, just out of interest, is seaweed flammable?
Ed, how dark is it down here?
As you descend, it is getting darker and darker. There's no torchlight or anything.
Okay, I will cast Dark Vision on myself because that doesn't require concentration.
Okay.
So the enhance ability is still up.
8.
8. You find yourself as you descend, and as you think on the sign outside as well, you're around halfway down the stairs and you feel your breathing just getting a little heavier and a little tighter. The walls, it's very, it's very small in here. You're going down, but it is quite small.
How small is it?
I mean, it is a quite wide set of stairs. It seems like it has been made with size in mind, but to you, it is like walking through the eye of a needle. It is very claustrophobic, and you are now at essentially a level of exhaustion. You take a disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay. Is it much further down there?
Well, how can I see the bottom from where we are at this moment in time?
Around halfway down, you look, and yes, you can see that there is a floor at the bottom.
We're reaching the bottom soon. We should keep going.
Also, point of clarification, I am very tired and forgot I have dark vision goggles, so I put those on and I don't cast the spell. I didn't have the spell prepared, so I was like,
I did wonder. I did wonder why you was.
Yeah, I just forgot. I just completely forgot. I'm very tired. Leave me alone.
I just thought it was a choice.
Shut up, Billy. Leave me alone.
I'm on your
Stop going
side.
on about it, Billy. Do I notice that Terra is a little bit distressed?
Make an insight check.
Oh, great. It's at disadvantage. I can't go off my passive insight? No? Okay. No, I don't. Because that's a natural 1 on the second roll. I rolled a 3 and a 1.
She seems as stoic as ever.
Okay.
Yeah. So you continue down, 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 until eventually you reach the bottom of the steps, and you are met with a small man-made tunnel. There are wooden struts along the inside, but as you reach the bottom, you hear a sound. It's the sound of rushing water coming from the end of the tunnel.
These walls are all stone, I take it?
All stone, but as above, they are mostly covered in algae and seaweed.
Okay. Can I tell how long this tunnel has been sort of constructed?
Yeah, absolutely. If you make a history check and double your proficiency.
What's my proficiency in history? Okay. 5.
It's with the amount of plant life that is covering this particular area, very, very hard to tell.
Considering Dalifa is proficient in stonework history,
But not in seaweed.
it's a seaweed, yeah. So
It'll get you every time.
I start to head down the tunnel.
Okay. As you continue down this stone tunnel, you are met, all of you, with a very strange sight. Stretching from side to side, a huge, cavernous tunnel with a rushing underground river stretching down its entire length from left to right as far as you can see, and immediately in front of you on the water's edge, a vast wooden pier jutting out into the small rushing waves. It is an underground port. Its boards are splintered and cracked with slimy green vines creeping around its surface, and you can see that there are barrels and crates scattered about, newer than the pier that they sit upon. And next to one of the jetties, at the end of which sits a large disused wooden crane, you see a ruined rowboat floating in the water, bobbing up and down. And standing opposite the pier, on the other side of the river to you, there is a large natural cave above the water level that disappears off into a deep, vast tunnel. But there is a sound that you hear echoing around. And as you look, you see that immediately in front of you there is a very pale corpse, no more than a week or so old. And he is missing a leg. And the sound continues, echoing around the tunnel.
Where is that sound coming from?
Make a perception check at disadvantage.
I would like to also find out where that is coming from.
Okay.
I rolled the same thing twice, and that
Natural
thing
one.
was a 4.
A 4.
But it's perception, so it's a 14.
As Dalifar, you look around as the sound of the river rushing through seems to eliminate any sense of direction for you. Terror. You peek around the side of one of the piles of barrels that sits around. And on the end of one of the piers, hidden in darkness, you see a hunched figure. Emaciated and with scaled skin and webbed hands and ears. Shells and coral seem to grow off its figure, and on its neck gills pulsate open and shut, and it appears to be eating something. You see toes, very pale foot, and it's just sat there eating.
Okay, so I'm gonna just stop everyone and like maybe do a a downward gesture, like everyone should probably crouch kind of gesture, and point, and then whisper. Unless, are we so close that a whisper would be heard?
It is hard to tell, but the water is quite loud.
Okay, so I'm gonna whisper. It's like a watery, scaly creature eating a person. Could sneak up on it and attack, but we don't know what it is, and we don't know if it's evil.
Well, we could ask it.
That means the sneaking up part doesn't work, but yes.
But unless you are invisible and go behind it.
Oh, I can just... Doesn't have to be invisible, but yeah. Okay, you do the talking, I'll do the sneaking.
Do you want to sneak first and then I'll get in position first?
Yeah. So is there somewhere with the barrels?
Mm-hmm.
If they were to go one way, is there a way I could go to hide somewhere to be behind the creature?
Tell you what, I will
Give us a
bring up a map so you can position yourselves upon it. Let me just bring it up.
Yay!
Why is that not working? Here we go.
Hopefully we don't have to get into a fight because somebody has drawn on the picture.
Someone drew on the map.
So that is what you see in front of you.
Okay.
3 distinct piers, one of which has a crane above it, and on the middle one, this hunched, scaly figure munching away at a foot.
Right.
Nice.
Kind of hard to sneak up on it, isn't it?
Do you want me to try and talk to it?
I mean, I can go and hide, like, behind a crate.
Okay.
As long as you don't stand. If you stand on the other side of the crates, if you see what I mean.
You can stand on the edge there.
Yeah. Could always chuck something, can't I?
So, are the rest of you happy where you are?
Going to take that as a yes.
So,
Oh, goodness.
Can I get out my... I'm just going to have a dagger in my hand.
okay.
Point of question, do I have to be holding the dagger that I got from Eli to be able to use it? Or
You would have to be wielding it, yes.
Okay.
Do I get out the sumac leaf and just palm it in my left hand, please?
Of course. So, as Terra crouches behind one of the barrels,
I've just realised I could totally do detect thoughts. But it's
I've not
fine. We
done
already have a
anything
plan. Yeah.
Okay.
and as the others ready themselves, Dalfar, you step forward onto the edge of the pier, rushing water all in front of you. And as you speak out, your voice echoes throughout the tunnel and into the cave beyond. What are you saying?
With lowered shield and axe, so as to seem as least threatening as possible, and just sort of higher than the volume of the water, but not so loud as that I'm yelling. Just say, hello?
And it looks around and it has these white milky, bulbous eyes, and they blink sideways, just...
Who are you? I come in peace. I still keep my calm and just say, I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to get to know you.
Zini, as you watch this, you see out of the corner of your eye, on one of the piers, a webbed hand just coming out of the water and over the top.
Fireball.
And the creature just drops the foot in its hand, Dalfar, and sits there crouched, just looking at you.
Steady. I mean you no harm.
And Terra, from your vantage point, you see to your side another hand just coming out of the water and gripping.
Can I? Sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, does it seem like it's understanding what I'm saying?
Doesn't seem to be, no.
Dalfa just sort of says, not in a loud voice, just sort of more to himself, this was a bad idea.
Can I use... Sorry.
Go on.
Can I use comprehend languages? I'm just very curious.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's only a first level.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know if it has a language.
It's saying... No! No! No, for the God's King! No!
Okay. More for the what?
For the God King.
Oh. Okay. Does comprehend languages allow you to speak it, or just comprehend it?
I think just
That's answered my
comprehend it,
question.
yeah.
Okay.
I think. I can check that for you.
I think it is just understand.
Just
Tongues
understanding.
is the one that allows you to speak.
For a first level spell, that would be.
Yeah. Yeah, you can understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear.
Like a one-way TARDIS interpreter.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I... Let me just check where Dalfar is standing. He definitely can't see me from there, can he?
No.
Can't draw his attention. Well, the other two are Scarlet and Xenia there, so I'm just going to, wiggle the dagger so that it glints a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I do. Are they... How many can we see now?
I will show you how many you can see. You can see 5 others slowly creeping up. And Zini, as you look at Dalfar, you see that just next to his ankle, another hand is just coming up.
Has he noticed?
He has not, no.
Okay, can I really quickly click my fingers 5 times?
Yeah, sure.
To try and alert him, and then as my action, if I have an action,
Yeah, I'll allow you to have a surprise
I will
round.
then put my clicked fingers to my hand, click them, and a fire blade emerges from my hand, and I swish it down.
Okay, let's roll for some initiative.
Would initiative count as an ability check?
I
think it does.
Dexterity.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Well, if
Excellent.
it's a dex check, you will not have enhanced ability anymore because Flame Blade is a concentration check. So unfortunately, that drops, Catherine. So you would be at
Oh, well.
disadvantage.
I don't feel like I'm going to be doing that much jumping.
Why does my dice hate me?
So, 25 to 20.
Oh my God.
Sorry, one sec.
20 to 15? Yes.
I got a 19.
Okay.
I got a 16.
Okay. 15 to 10. Yep.
14.
14.
I rolled a 5 and a 19, so I get 14.
Okay. Then 10 to 5.
I got a 6.
And 5 to 1.
I really thought you weren't going to put your hand up for a second.
Okay, so the initiative order is Terra, then it is Scarlet, then it is the creatures, then it is Zini, then Dalafar, then Oriana. So, top of the round, Terra, what are you doing as the creatures are slowly crawling out and...
Let's see. I would like to... Oh, okay. Is the one closest to me still in the water?
They're crawling out, yes.
But it's still in the water.
It is still in the water.
I'd like to run over to it. Let's see. And I'd like to use shocking grass.
Yes.
On water. Yikes.
Okay, absolutely.
I don't know if that does anything else.
Yeah,
I don't think technically it does.
No, I'm going to say it's like metal, so it
says advantage on the attack roll if they're wearing armor made of metal.
I will say advantage on the attack roll because it's also very wet.
But I assume there's no... It doesn't like go through the water. That would be really cool, but
I'd say
it's too much.
Yeah, it's
so melee spell attack. Okay. I don't really do spell attacks.
Did you roll at advantage?
No.
You could
should
roll.
I? Oh yes.
Yeah, because it's...
Of course I should. I literally just had that conversation. Okay, well that wasn't any better. 23.
That very hits, yes. Roll for damage.
Very
Very hits.
Verily.
Verily.
So it's... Ooh. Oh no. So presumably, so spell damage increases when you reach higher levels, but because I'm multi-classing, it's only when I reach a higher level of that class, presumably. Because it's 5th level, it goes up to 2d8, and technically I'm level 9, but I'm only a level 3 sorcerer. I would have thought it goes up with sorcerer levels.
Yes. I'll check that.
What was it, sorry?
So when you're multi-classing...
No, it's entirely your level. It's not just sorcerer level. If it's it's a case of damage going up regarding your level, it's whatever your level is fully.
Oh, sweet.
It's like with cantrips and stuff. I think it's whatever level you are, I think.
Oh, nice. Wow. That's good.
The more you know.
So it's 2d8. 3.
3, okay.
But it can't take reactions until the start of its next turn.
So you reach down into the water and grabbing this creature just shock the water and it just and just recoils back a little bit, smarting a little. Are you doing anything else?
I assume it's an action. Let me just check. Yes, that was an action. No, I'm going to stay there because hopefully it also means the one on the right can't get past.
Okay, sure thing. So, Scarlet, your go.
Ooh. So, the first thing I would like to do is I would like to command my unseen servant to trip up the fish person that is closest to Dalafar.
Okay.
It can only move 15 feet, so I don't think it will get there in this turn, but it'll probably get there next turn.
Okay.
It can do anything a servant can do, and I feel like tripping someone up is within the realm of a servant's abilities.
Are there 2 Scarlets on the map?
Yes.
That'll be my unseen servant,
Oh,
sorry, yes.
one.
You could be like, put your leg out.
That's
Put
what
your
I'm
leg
thinking
in.
of. No,
Put your leg out.
And shake it all about.
There we go. So there's your unseen servant.
You do the unseen servant.
So the unseen servant's just chilling. Next round, I'll be able to do that. So that's a bonus action. Any command is a bonus action. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Fire Shield on myself.
Okay.
I've heard of that.
It's a brand new spell.
Very good.
I am going to have thin flames suddenly cover my entire body.
That's so cool.
Also have bright light for 10 feet. So if anyone has any problem seeing it, it's now fine.
I love the idea that you have this for cooking reasons.
Yeah, it's really helpful if you're just like, if you want it just right, you can just hold the thing and get it. So it lasts for 10 minutes, so hopefully combat. It won't do anything unless I get attacked by anything with
And then they take
melee.
fire damage.
No, 2d8.
Cool.
Yeah, oh, fire. I thought it said 5. Yes, they take 2d8 of fire damage. Yeah. It's
Cool.
pretty good. Yeah.
Lovely. Is that everything you want to do?
Yeah, I'm not going to move much. I'm sure I'll get, attacked by a fish, but I think I'll stay here for now.
So, I'll move them all first. So, 1, 2, 3. So that one's going to go there. This one is going to... It's going to go there. 1, 2, and... Okay, so they all rush forward, climbing out of the water with this... And Terra, sort of still with the remnants of your comprehend languages still up as it's fading away, you hear the one that shouted earlier just go, "No! Bring them back! Bring them back! They return the others!" As they just rush forward towards everyone.
Am I allowed to speak, or do I have to wait?
Yeah. Yeah, you can shout as a free action.
I would like to say, "Don't let them grab you."
So the one next to Dalfar is going to try and attack and not hit with a 9. It's going to try and attack again, also not hit with an 8, and will not attack with 7. So
you actually rolled a 9, an 8, and a 7 in that order. Wow.
I did.
Wow.
So the one next to you, Zini, is going to try and attack you.
I'd like to think it's my personality that put him off.
With a natural 20 on that one. So that will be 8 points of bludgeoning damage. The second attack will be a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
So that's another 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and that's going to try and bite you with a 7, which does not. So as it rushes forward with its claws, just and it swipes and chips away bits of bark on your armor. And as it reaches forward to bite, you just bring up your arm instinctively, and it connects with the hard bark, which seems to solidify around your forearm, just in a, and its teeth just breaks a little bit, and it looks very much like the teeth of an anglerfish as it just falls back and cries out. The one next to you, Oriana. That's a 7.
Oh.
That's an 18 to hit.
Oh, that matches, so yeah, it hits.
Yep, so that will be 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and that's going to try and bite you. That does not hit.
Can I use my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke, please?
I knew you were waiting for that.
Yes.
I was like, yes.
I was like, please hit me! Hit me!
Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Okay, so do I use my spell attack bonus for that, because it's a spell, innit? Right, I mean...
Yes, you do, yeah.
Yeah, so... that is a... 24.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, and then that is 3d10.
It's a dex saving throw, not an attack roll.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a 6, so I
Yeah, that
fails.
fails. Okay, so 3d10. What this? That's 12.
12 points of damage, okay. Nice and easy maths.
Fire damage.
So as fire just engulfs this strange, misshapen sea creature, it just... And you can see shells and coral just slough off its body. The ones next to you, Terra, are going to try and attack. Nope. Nope. No. No. Oh, 18.
Yes.
Okay, that one hits. And that will be, as it bites you, that will be 4 points of piercing damage.
Wait, I've not been hit before for ages, so I can do this. I can use my reaction to halve the attack's damage.
Okay, so that will be 2 points
Yes.
of piercing damage. As you just manage to dodge just out of the way as its teeth scrape past your skin. The other one is going to try and attack you. That's a 21 to hit.
Should have waited.
So that will be 6 points of bludgeoning damage. And then It misses. And that's going to try and... Yeah, and it misses. So that is all any of them can do. So it is now Zini, your go.
Okay, because Scarlet is next to me and casting light, and also my sword is casting light, I would like to snap the goggles off so that I can see.
Yep.
And then once this thing's bitten me, I will nod at it and then slash it with the flame sword.
Okay, roll an attack.
Does it count? Does it count as flanked?
I was about to say yes, at advantage, yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Okay, I rolled an 18 and a 19. Okay. So that would be, if it's a spell attack, 26.
Yeah, that hits. Roll for damage.
Okay, so it is 3d6. Oh, 5 points of fire damage because I rolled 2 ones.
Okay, 5 points. So that's... Okay, Brill, anything else at all?
Nope, that's it. That's all I can do.
Okay, so...
Although, well, weird ruling. Because it's a melee spell attack, I presume that I can't use my extra attack despite the fact that it's a sword.
Yeah. I mean...
It's already in my hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's a concentration, right?
Yeah.
So maybe...
Oh, I forgot to make the constitution check.
Oh, yes, of course. I guess maybe the ruling there would be because you're keeping your concentration up, maybe you can only make the one attack because of that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yep.
Diani, how close do you have to be to give +3 on con saves?
10 feet.
Okay, so you are close enough to me. That's good. Oh yeah, I'm fine. 17.
Yep, that's fine. So, unless there's anything else you want to do,
nope.
Dalifar, your turn. As the creature below you has sprung out of the water, entirely missing you.
I am going to try and hit it back. So my first action will be an attack.
Okay, roll to attack.
Natural 1.
Okay.
Oh, that's much, much better. That is 22.
That hits. Roll for damage.
Yeah. That is an 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage, okay.
And... I think what I'm going to do is also move. I've attacked twice, so I can't do much more than that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to there.
It will get an attack of opportunity if you move. So, which it misses, so you're fine. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so Oriana, your go. What would you like to do? As the creature in front of you is still aflame.
So, do I get advantage because he's flanked?
Yes, you do, yeah.
Okie dokie. I'm going to give something
like I
a
know what I'm
go.
doing.
I know, right? Seeing as I get 2 attacks, I might as well, waste one of them. So I'm going to give my Great Weapon Master feat a go and take a -5 penalty to my attack roll.
Okay.
So... oh man, I've got to work this out. Maths. Okay, well, let's just see which one's higher first. Okay, so... 14.
Yes, that hits. Roll for damage.
How exciting! Okay. So that's a 19.
19 damage, okay. Looking real rough.
And then for my second attack, I'll just do that normally.
Okay.
So that is 22.
Okay, yeah, that hits. Do you want to roll damage as a formality?
Okay. It's a 4.
So as you bring your weapon down in an almighty crunch, that reverberates and echoes even over the sound of the water that rushes through. You bring your maul up again and it just cracks back, sending the creature flying into the assortment of barrels that lie across. And as they fall, you notice that bottles are rolling out, bottles of Tack Room whiskey rolling all across the top of the pier. Is there anything else you want to do, Ariana?
As a as a bonus action, can I cast Vow of Enmity on the one that is above me? Like, not above me, but on the map above me. Just so that I get advantage against that dude. That's it.
He's green now. Okay, lovely. So, top of the round, Terra, your go, as you are surrounded by 2 of these creatures.
So I'll just hit the guy. Well, it's not a guy, is it? I'll hit the thing with my sword.
Okay, sure thing.
The one that I already damaged. Right. It's just a straight roll, isn't it?
A straight roll, yeah.
15.
15, that hits. Roll for damage.
8.
8 points of damage. Okay. As your blade slashes down into the water, slicing open and revealing strange white meat, and you can see what looks to be sort of fish-like bones on the inside. It's a very unnerving sight as it just... Is there anything else you're doing on your turn?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so Scarlet, your turn as you stand there flaming in the middle of this cavern.
Nice. So my unseen servant is going to basically move to where the other thing is. Now I'm guessing this will kind of work like a held action. So the next time Fishy Boy moves, or we don't know the fish's gender, I probably shouldn't assume. Anytime this fish moves, when it moves, I'd like the invisible to essentially stick out a leg and try and pick it up to make
Sure thing, not a problem.
Cool. And then I'm going to do something, because all in the middle, those are the whiskey and alcohol bottles, aren't they?
They are.
Yes. So I don't want everyone to die in an explosion, so I'm going to move up to where Terra is. 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm going to stay there. And I am going to cast Burning Hands. And I have a thing called spell sculpting, and that means I can make Terra automatically succeed in the saving throw and not take any damage from this.
Okay.
Nice.
So could the 2 fish people, it's a 15-foot cone, please make dex saving throws? The DC is 16.
They both fail, 13 and a 15.
Wonderful, okay. So I did that at 5th level. So that's 7d6s.
Only 7? Come on.
Overkill, thy name is Jess Moore.
Just got this image of Scarlet walking over, Burning Hands, Terra being like, what?
So that's 32 points each.
I assume if I succeed the saving throw, that I don't take half damage as well.
Yeah, no, so basically, in usual play, it'd be half damage if you succeeded. But the thing is with spell sculpting, I can choose the level plus 1 amount of people to succeed, and if they succeed, they don't take damage.
So, Terra, you hear this...
Evocation wizard stuff, it's great.
Terra, as you sit defending yourself against these 2 creatures either side of you, you hear this all too familiar from behind you, and turning around, just no, as you just see Scarlet, arms outstretched towards you, and a fairly scary and altogether manic look in her eye as fire jettisons towards you, and just as it is about to reach you, it pours on either side of you and just sculpts all around you, and you just hear these anguished and as this cascade of fire slowly dims, you see the legs of these creatures there, their torsos and their strange fishy spines all that left as they fall down to the ground in a sickening, squelchy thud.
Does it smell like cooked fish?
It does. It's quite pleasant, and then you remember the context, and it's quite horrible.
I'm just going to look at Scarlet and go, nice.
I do this again. I'm like,
So, it's now the creature's turn. So, the one that attacked you, Zini, is going to attack you again with a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so that will be 5 points of bludgeoning damage, a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that will hit.
So another 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and it's going to try and bite you with a 16.
That hits.
Okay, and that will be 3 points of piercing damage.
Okay, I rolled 1 concentration check, and I don't need to roll anymore because it was a 1.
Okay.
Again.
So, as you sort of defend yourself against this creature and it just... you just see the blade beginning to sputter with each blow that it lands on you until eventually it just... and you just have the leaf in your hand. The creature that is near to Dalifar is going to attack him as it jumps down with a natural 20. So that will be...
That's a hit.
Well, it rolled a 1, so double that. So that's 4 points of bludgeoning damage. That won't hit. And neither will that. And this one, the only other one remaining, is going to rush forward and dexterity saving throw. That's a 1. So it immediately trips forward and falls prone on the ground. And as it lands into barrels, it just looks at the heavily armored feet in front of it and slowly looks up towards Oriana, who is just holding a very large and very bloody mace in her hand. Zini, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, I will swear under my breath because I am annoyed at losing the cool fire sword, and then I will... what do I want to do? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna cast a cantrip, which will be Primal Savagery. So my teeth and fingernails sharpen, and this hissing green liquid starts to drip from both, and I'm going to attack it.
Okay, attack away.
Am I still at advantage?
Yes.
Because it's a melee, yeah?
Yeah.
Also, Oriana's flanking as well.
Okay, that is 12.
That just hits.
Oh,
Roll
good.
for damage.
Okay. So because I'm at 9th level, it does 2d10.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 10, so that's good.
Okay.
And then a 7. Yeah, so it's 17 points of acid damage.
Okay. Okay, great. As this slashes across its scaly skin, and you see viscera fly out from its body as it just and winces. It's looking pretty bad after that one strike. Is there anything else you want to do?
Just as it hisses at me, I will just, with my longer teeth that don't quite fit in my mouth anymore, just go...
Okay. Dalifar, your go.
Okay, so I'm going to use Action Surge,
Okay.
and therefore I have 4 attacks, and I'm going to attack the one that is just hopped down. So attack number 1 is... that's rubbish. 11.
That hits exactly.
Whew, okay, so where's my D8? Okay. It is plus 5, 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage, okay.
Second attack is a 22.
It hits, roll for damage.
That is 13 points of damage.
13.
13, 1, 3.
Okay. I wouldn't put it past you for a big old 3-0. Okay, it's looking really, really unsteady on its feet as it just barely clings on and staggers back against one of the barrels and just...
That is a 23. Oh, so 24 points to attack.
Yeah, that hits.
And it takes 7 points of damage.
Its head just flies clean off across the pier, rolling until it falls down into the water, and you see it just bob away in the current. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
I have a 4th attack, but I can't move and use that attack, can I?
You can move. You can move and
Yeah,
attack.
because I've only used 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, so you can move somewhere and attack, yep.
I would like to attack the one that's near Zini, please.
Okay.
So I'm going to move first. And I would like to attack.
Okay. Big old advantage.
I mean, that's 15. 26.
That hits. Roll for damage.
Plus 5, 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage, looking real rough as Zini, you watch as this familiar battle axe just swings into the corner of your sight and the creature just staggers back as it's sliced almost clean in two, staggering back. Oriana, your go. What would you like to do?
Presumably having Scarlet's servant there doesn't count as flanking.
I mean, the creature is prone on the ground, so,
Oh, okay.
so
Well,
it's
in that
already at
case-
advantage.
Oh, right, I see what you mean. Okay. Well, I will... okay. Just because it's a new spell, I'll use as my bonus action Blinding Smite, which gives me an extra 3d8 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll roll for it. That is a 22.
22 hits, roll for damage.
Okay, so my normal weapon damage is 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the 3d8, $17.
You bring your maul down, and there is a, as the literal pier gives way, and what once was a head is now discernibly not one, as you just bring your maul up and just see this still body at your feet. There is only one creature left, and it is the top of the round, Terra. Unless there's anything else you want to do, because you have another attack.
Yeah, I do. I have another attack. I'll attack it.
Yeah.
It's probably too far away for me to get to, so please.
So you can do so at advantage, Diana?
19.
That hits. Roll for damage.
$12. No, wait. Yeah, 12.
So from one, you sort of turn around and seeing this other one in front of Dalafar and Zini. Zini, who has grown these strange dripping claws, and you just turn around and bring your maul up, and then there is a sickening that echoes with finality around the space. The creatures are all gone, and the pier is empty again.
I would just like to say that this makes up for the last time we were in combat and I, was yeeted right out of it. So
You got a lot of stress to just let out.
Okay. So there are no more creatures left.
Not as far as you can see, no.
So I think we need to be extra cautious because I could understand a little bit of what they were saying, and they said something about get them to the, what was it? Get them to the God King. So I'm thinking there's probably at least one big boy.
Dalfa just brings up his axe and wipes off the blood with some rags from the, on the floor from the corpses or whatever's left. Well, I suppose we should go and deal with him too.
So far, I'm not completely sold on the fact that the Tack Room did this on purpose. I'm just looking at the bottles that have come out of the crate, because it makes sense that they would have a way to get their product in this way. Maybe this was an accident. Maybe they stumbled across
I look down at the dead body and go, yeah, I think it was an accident.
I just go and start sort of ushering the crate that was broken and the bottles everywhere. Just sort of save whatever bottles are still about, just so they stop rolling around.
Okay.
Can I have a look at the body and see if it looks like they're recognizable as anyone?
Make an investigation check for me.
Whilst Tara's doing that, can I just keep my eye on the waves?
Mm-hmm. Make a perception check for me.
15.
Rolling the face over, it is not one that you recognize, Terra, but as you sort of look over the body, you do notice that under the lapel, just on the skin at the collarbone, there is a small tattoo of a horseshoe.
Mm.
And what did you get, Michael?
10.
10. You look around and you do not see anything in the waves themselves. But looking across to the other side of the tunnel and the large cavernous cave on the opposite side, you do notice that the seaweed and the algae, it seems particularly populated over on the other side of the water.
Well, if we're going to find the God King anywhere, I think it would probably be in there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I would like it to be known, however, that I am not enamored with the idea of going in there.
I'm not either.
I have had a very bad day. I am cold. I am tired. And now I'm bleeding. Plus, my cool flame sword went away really quickly, and that bums me out.
Right then, shall we?
Were you not listening to me?
Oh, I was.
I fucking hate the sea.
Maybe your mood will lighten up after a long rest. But before then, and then Dalify just starts to walk towards the tunnel.
So it is on the other side of the rushing water. So in order to get there,
You will need a boat.
or to swim across.
Can I just catch Scarlet before we search the obviously broken boats? Scarlet, I won't say this often, but if we get out of this and come back on this pier, I would cordially ask you to burn it down.
The entire building or the pier?
Whatever takes your fancy.
Well, I'll consider it. I mean, my main worry is all this alcohol might make any fire a little explosive, and while fun to watch, it might affect some of the other buildings.
Well, we could take the alcohol with us. You could cook with it, can't you?
I mean, I can also drink it. It has
This is also
multiple
true.
uses. Yes. I think we shall see what this so-called God King has to say first. I've never been much enamoured with gods, as you know, so... I mean, that is the one downside of these provincial areas. They seem to be hotbeds for cults and people with ideas far, far above their capabilities.
Well, let's go try and kill another one.
Okay, so
Quick
what are you
question,
doing?
Ed. Is the winch I guess it's got one of those drums with a lot of rope round.
It does, yeah. A lot of the rope is... I mean, looking around the pier itself, it seems that the pier that you stand on is quite old. It is certainly older than a few months. There are elements, however, that are a newer, slightly lighter shade of wood, the crates and the barrels for one, but the crane that sits at the end of the pier is also new. And while covered in part by algae and seaweed, the rope within it is also in very, very good nick. In fact, I will say after a bit of thorough investigation, you can probably get around 300 foot of rope from it.
Well, what I'd like to do is sort of just pull it and sort of hook it to like my buckle or my belt, and swim across, so anyone who's not better at swimming can just use a rope to get across without having to worry about swimming.
Okay, I will say make a strength check.
Oh no!
To
Billy, stop taunting the dice.
to swim across this very, very rapidly flowing water.
Strength check. Strength check, not saving throw, right?
Just a check, yep.
10.
So you swim across, and as you do, you find that you are moving ever so slightly in the direction of the current. You do manage to swim across to the other side and grab on, but it is very, very slippery. You probably don't have as much purchase as you would like. You are on the other side, but quite far away from the cave itself.
Can I use the dagger, because it'll be better than swinging an axe, to help me get onto the other side?
Okay, I will say make an athletics check for me.
Okay. 27.
Sort of with renewed energy, you just bring yourself along and slowly bring yourself up onto the other side of the tunnel. And turning around, you see the pier behind you.
I'm an idiot. I could just use me as a step. But fair enough, I couldn't have brought the rope, so
you look back and sort of smile at the others before you have this moment of realization in your head. But the rope is on the other side, in a taut line across.
Yeah, is there a way that I can anchor it to the other side, so I don't just have to hold it while people come across?
Looking around, it is mostly just wet rock. You could potentially break some stone off, but it would take a while.
I just hold it and sort of do the one loop around your waist, so it's sort of more brace, and then brace myself as people start to cross.
Okay. So who's going first across this very makeshift single rope bridge?
I'm going to use Misty Step.
There is a as ash appears on one side of the pier, and then on the other side of the tunnel, directly next to you, Dalafar, there is a ashy, sulfuric taste in the air as Oriana just appears next to you.
Isn't sulfur like fart smells?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, I create fart smells.
So I turn to Ori and just say, well, you could grab the rope as well to make sure everyone else crosses, if you don't mind.
Fine.
I'll go first.
Okay. So, Tara, if you can make an athletics check, and Dalafar and Oriana, if you can make either individual strength checks or one of you make one at advantage.
26.
What do you want to do, Ori?
You might as well take advantage because,
I mean, that's 23.
Okay, so Tara, you hold onto the rope and just climb across as Dalafar and Oriana just hold it in place until you are across the other side, the water rushing beneath you. Scarlet or Zini, who's going across?
Scarlet will give it a go with the understanding that if she can't hold on, she's going to immediately cast Levitate on herself and keep a hold of the rope and go across.
Okay, so if you can make an athletics check as Dalafar holds onto the rope.
Good old +0 there. Yeah, that's a 7.
So your hands begin to slowly slip, and so almost as a matter of course, you just swing your wooden spoon and just pull yourself across as though on a zip wire until you are on the other side, leaving Zini alone on the pier next to the crane with the others all on the other side.
Okay. I look at my wounds and rock slightly from side to side with exhaustion. And then I will use my last second level spell slot to cast Enhance Ability on myself, which I believe I can do. Just let me double check. It doesn't touch creature. Yeah, it doesn't say I can't do it on myself.
Yeah, you should be able to.
So I think, so I will give myself Bull's Strength, which means that I have advantage on strength checks.
Okay, lovely. So that will even out to just being a straight strength roll.
Exactly, and it'll still go poorly because my strength is terrible.
So if you make an athletics check for me.
Okay.
You could do it acrobatically if you wanted.
Could I?
If you want to make it fancy.
Even though,
That said, it would be at disadvantage, so I guess...
Yeah, that's the thing. It depends how you rule it, Ed. If I was aware that I could try and run along the rope acrobatically, then I would give myself Cat's Grace.
I mean, you've done stuff like that before, so yeah.
So could I have retroactively given myself Cat's Grace instead?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
So it makes it a straight roll, but I add my acrobatics instead, so it's a 14.
14. So somewhat tentatively, especially considering the wounds that you've accrued in your relatively short time down in the tunnel, you get up and gingerly stand on top of the rope, and then sort of with the entire group just watching as you sway side to side a little bit, you just go, and eventually land on the other side as Dalafar, the rope suddenly stops being quite so difficult to hold. All of you are across the other side in the wake of this large cavernous maw.
Okay. Did you say about 300 feet of rope?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Wrapped up within the crane itself, but
Sure.
it's, yeah.
So if I pull it, it'll just keep on reeling?
It will for a fairly long period of time, yeah.
Okay, I do that.
So, where are you going?
We could wrap it around the monster
Could potentially, yeah.
and then
Activate the crane.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo style.
Okay, yeah, we do that. I take the lead going down the tunnel.
Okay. As you walk down, Zini, it is becoming dark again.
Okay, snap the goggles on. Are we moving carefully, folks?
I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so if everyone can roll stealth for me, please.
Ed, would this come, because it's technically a dex check, even though it's with added stealth, would this be a straight roll for me?
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
Cats are stealthy.
Thanks. Well, that's what I thought, and it is a dex check. It's just
Yeah.
that the stealth stat comes from dex, so...
Yeah.
When they write out checks, they put dex brackets.
Yeah,
stealth.
exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. So what did everyone roll for their
11.
stealth?
28.
11.
23.
Okay. So does everyone take Zini's, or is that...
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So we're all at 23 except Tara, who is gone.
So you continue. You continue down this long, long stretch of tunnel, deeper and deeper. The plants beneath your feet squelch and continue to get wetter and wetter until eventually you are simply walking through ankle-height water. Every so often, moonlight streams down as you look up, and you can see that dripping above there are holes in the ceiling where marsh water pours over the edge and down into the tunnels, and you continue walking. Eventually, the rope goes taut, Dalafar, and you can move no further with it wrapped around you.
There goes my idea.
I let it fall and lay it to the side.
Okay. You continue on, and you're walking for another good 20 minutes or so, might even be half an hour, until eventually you come to an underground pool of water. And Zini, you find that you no longer need your goggles of night, because above this underground cavern, there is a hole in the ceiling. The ground above is almost completely caved in, and water pours down on every side, almost like waterfalls. But all around the top of this huge cave, you see a structure, like 4 walls around the sides. It is as though the floor of this particular building has caved in. It is giant, and it is huge, and it is grey. They are ruins of what look to be a castle. And you are in the center of a great hall. Vines and trees twist through great stone bricks, and on top of the towers that stand above you, rotted wood peeks out from underneath dark stone roof tiles. Windows are open and empty, and above you, the roof, just as the floor above you, is entirely caved in. You see a moon hanging in the sky. And though the air, you hear the soft sound of waves in the near distance. But beyond that, there is no sign of life. But here the tunnel ends.
Is there a way to get up?
Make a perception check.
Look into the pool, please.
Yeah. It's only around knee height deep. There is a lot of green algae and seaweed around there, but looks perfectly clean. It's quite marshy, so you probably wouldn't want to drink it, but there's nothing in there, if that's what you're looking for. Dalifat, what did you roll?
Dirty 20.
Looking around, you can see that on either side there are the remnants of what look to be grey flagstones down the side of the walls. As you look around, you can see the remnants of whatever floor and roof lay above scattered around this cavern. You can see that the walls themselves, while steep, have enough footholds and handholds that you could probably climb your way up if you needed to.
Okay. I think we can get up there, but is there anything we want to do down here?
Why do we want to go up there? Do we think the God King's up there, or?
I honestly don't know.
I thought that it would be another sea kind of creature or something.
Perhaps.
Does anyone know what creatures they were?
Anyone who's interested, make a nature check.
I would like to do that.
I don't think I would, but I will roll.
Dirty 20.
16.
17.
Okay. So, Zini and Terra, you are less sure, more land-based as you are. Dalifar, in stories that Sheol has told you, you have heard of creatures that live in the deepest, darkest recesses of lakes and rivers and seas, and sometimes even the depths of oceans. They are referred to as sea spawn, humanoid creatures that are little more than parasites, eating those things which are easily preyed upon, and usually in large numbers. They usually hunt in packs for safety, if nothing else. But they have been known to venture onto land. They always need to return to water for at least an hour each day, but they have been known to live in particularly murky and marshy environments.
So, I think what we just fought back there were sea spawn or something like them. I'd heard stories, and they usually hunt in packs, which we saw. There was a large group. But if what they were referring to as the God King is not down here. My wage is up there. It depends what the area up there is like. If it's, whether it's still marshy or whatever else could be up there, I don't know. So if it's not down here...
They're not demons or magical creatures of any kind?
They're just creatures.
What time of day is it now, Ed?
It's nighttime, so it would probably be around 10 o'clock at this point.
Look, I'm curious as to where this leads to, but I'm very tired, and I feel like we have a limited amount of time to get to Ostafar. If we go further into the night, we might lose some of that time in the morning.
So then we're talking about a handful of hours that we lose out versus potentially saving this area.
Which is true.
Okay. Well, if we don't find anything within the next half an hour, do you want to? We'll call it a night.
Sounds fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right, up we go.
Okay. So if everyone can make athletics checks for me as you scale the side of this wall.
Good God, I rolled a natural 1. Every time for athletics. I have a +8 to athletics and that magic stone, and I roll a +1. Dice.
I have a -1 to my athletics. I was at disadvantage and I rolled a 10. How? This doesn't make any sense.
So
14.
15.
What did you get, Scarlet?
14.
14. So after an initial stumbling block, as you all creep up and just hear a from down below, and Oriana, you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground after falling. You just and continue climbing up at quite a distance behind your friends. The rest of you slowly climb up and up. And as you reach the top, waiting for Oriana, Terra, I forgot that comprehend languages is not concentration, so it is technically still up.
Is it?
It is.
Does it last that long?
It lasts for an hour.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't believe it's
No, it's sub-hour.
concentration. I'll double check that, but
It's not.
yeah. So as you come up into this large open hall, Zini, you notice at the side of this room a large pair of wooden doors. And from within these doors, you see the orangey glow of firelight. But you, Terra, while the rest of you just hear, you, Terra, you hear,
People falling! People fall land dwellers! Like cool brothers!
and then all of you hear a much louder, much deeper voice in the same dialect, but again, Terra, you hear it in common.
How many times do I have to tell you? Speak common in front of your god king!
And there is a
And the dwellers coming into your kingdom. See us. Let them come. Festus Saltwound the Greater demands it. Food.
And as this reverberates around the space, Oriana, you climb up and look around and notice that everyone seems to be very, very distracted.
What did the small creature thingy say?
It said land dwellers,
Oh.
followed Saw.
Saw. SAW.
Yes.
Could I just reach and get my bow and arrow out?
You can.
Can they see us?
No, they can't. Whatever sounds are coming from the other side of the doors.
I just turn to Zini and just go, I kind of wish we didn't find anything, to be honest, but...
Well,
Just
at
have
least
to-
it was quick.
Well... Should I go first?
They're big doors, right?
Very big doors.
Well, let's all go together.
Can we peek through the doors?
You can make a perception check for me.
That's terrible. 9.
You look through, trying to see what you can, and it is limited, your view, but you get a sense of the room. It seems to be the remains of a huge throne room. Candles and braziers flame throughout the room, and you see that the room itself seems to sit at an angle, its floor sloping down towards the left where the walls lie in ruins. And through these ruins you see the remains of a large wooden ship. It's broken through, and from there the lake outside seems to pour into the room, covering most of the hall in knee depth level of salt water. Pillars aligning what you can see of the walls, and twisting plants and trees stretch out around these, breaking out from beneath grey flagstones, and tattered banners hang from the ceiling. And in one corner of the room you could just make out that there is a tremendous pile of crates and barrels. And where the water is deepest, you can just about make out, next to the ship, there hangs from the ceiling a wooden cage full of bodies, all very much alive. But this is not what draws your eye. What draws your eye, as you peek round even more, is what sits at the other end of the throne room. Behind a large pile of gold coins that stack out of the water and are full of precious gems and jewels and diamonds and other treasure, you see a large wooden throne constructed from ships and boats and timber. And in this chair sits a gargantuan figure, festooned in scraps of dirty metal welded together in a mockery of royal armor, along with furs and skins fashioned into a heavy cape that cascades down the creature's back. And underneath this, rolls of fat envelop the chair, so much that you cannot see the creature's knees, and several chins descend beneath his face, whose features seem almost too small in comparison to the rest of his body. Above his snub nose sit two dark and beady eyes, while on his head, atop long, greasy black hair, there is a crown constructed from the crow's nest of a ship. And leaning against the throne, its chain wrapped around his left forearm, there is a huge, rusty anchor. The creature you see is a giant.
I sort of whisper, well, we have a giant, and it's got a pretty big anchor.
Is that a metaphor?
No, I literally mean a giant.
I meant the anchor, but okay.
Well, no, the anchor is very real.
Mm-hmm. And the giant is a metaphor.
He has a giant anchor.
Yes.
I see. Did you mention the people in there?
Not yet. No, I haven't.
Good thing there's no one else in there.
I mean, I was covering the most important aspect first. And it's a waterlogged room, and there's water appearing in. It's not too deep. We can wade through, but there seems to be people in the cage up there as well. They look very much alive.
Oh. And are they Tack Room associates?
I couldn't tell from this distance. They're just people.
That's fair.
Well, shall we go in and say hello?
Yeah, I might go invisible first. Bloop.
Did you happen to see why he was keeping the people captive?
Nothing jumped out aside from potentially he wanted to eat them.
But perhaps he needs an education.
I mean, at this point, I'm only assuming.
I suppose we should make ourselves known.
So from our vantage points, there's just big doors. And are the walls climbable to the fact that you can gain a vantage point from up top into the room?
We will pick up on that next week. So, your first giant, and it's been a year of firsts. Kind of half dragon and big old giant. So we'll see how that goes next week. Thank you all so much for joining us. Pleasure having you all as always. Do feel free to sound off in the Twitch. We hope to see you again next week. In the meantime, you can find us on here. You can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean. We're on all the social medias, the Twitters and everything. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But in the meantime, have a wonderful week. Stay safe, and we will see you next week. Love you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.